Welcome to Nkosi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, good morning and good evening wherever you might be. It's Lisa Charazabu. I'm the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Nkosi Talk Show. I'm on my own today, sending love to Dr. Biget. She was meant to be here with me today, but unfortunately she's not very well. So I'm sending love, sending prayers to you, and I hope you get well soon and join me next week. So I am your love harmonist, and at Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency at Nkosi Talk Shows, we help our audience lead from within and find their own voice and become the person they want to be. So our topic today is how to become the person you most want to be. So we all have ideas of who we want to become. We have desires in life, relationship desires, careers desires. We have desires about the world. We have desires about so many things that we want to have in life. And that dream job that you desire, and that successful business that you desire, and so many things. And some people desire to basically have that good education, and some people we desire so many things. And some people desire to simply get married, and some people desire to have children, and some people they desire so many things. The list is endless for what people desire in life and what we desire. I personally have my own desires as well. My children have their own desires as well. But the question is, are you willing to do the work to take it to be where you need to be? You know your desires, you know your goals, where you need to be, you know the image you need to create to take you there. Do you have people like your tribe? Who are you surrounded by? Your environment, how is it like for you to be that person you want to be? You have to look at your life. You have to look at your life and look at your environment. You have to look at the friends that you have in life. You have to look at basically everything that you are surrounded, your surroundings, in order for you to become that person that you want to become. Be a great leader in your life. Be the greatest, the magnificent, be excellent in you as a person. Be happy within. No one can make you happy now. But in order for you to reach the goals, to reach that character within that you desire to be, it will require you to do the work. So are you ready to do the work? It will require you to leave some people behind. It will require you to actually rewrite your own story. Sometimes some people don't need to rewrite it. They just need to keep creating. You just need to create. So in order for you to get to where you need to be, there is no there is no a magic pill for you. Basically, the only thing that can get you to where you need to go, you need to do the work. You need to be somebody that has a mindset of I want to do this. You need to basically hate the life that you have. If that's not the life that you want, you need to look at it. And once you hate something and say, I hate this, I hate the life that I'm living, then you'll be able to actually create the life that you want to live. Because that life does not fulfill you. That life, it does not, you're not happy with. So if you're not happy with something, you create something, you have to rewrite your own story. So that's why I am a love harmonist. I help my clients rewrite their own story. If love hasn't worked, instead of them blaming themselves, I help them rewrite it so they can actually achieve the goals that they want to achieve and be a great leader in their own life. So there are questions in order for you to get there. How to become the most person you want to be. There are questions that you need to ask yourself. And when you ask those questions step by step, you need to implement. If you ask yourself the questions that help us to basically to create our lives step by step, they don't help us to actually blame ourselves. When you create questions, that means you are looking for answers. So when you are looking for answers, it means once you find those answers, you find them by creating. You create. You create the things that you want to do. So first, ask yourself, who am I? Who is Nomsa? So that's the question first I need to ask myself. Who am I? If I can't get the answer myself, I help God to help me to understand who is Nomsa. Show me who I am, God. Universe, show me who I am. If your beliefs are universe, show me who I am. For me is God, show me who I am. Show me everything that is hidden about me. Show me who I could be. Who I could be if I accept that hidden Nomsa, that younger self that is hidden, that I've neglected. Show me who I am. Show me who I could be. And if I ask myself those questions, who I am, who am I? And God, show me who Nomsa could be. Show me any hidden secret about my life, myself, what I could be. Because there might be a hidden secret about your life. Some people say, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. Maybe there's a hidden secret that you need to search within yourself. Find out, what are you good at? Are you actually not good at the things that you say you're not good at? So search within. Search within. And then look around your environment. If your environment is not moving you forward, is the one that is holding you back. Ask yourself this question. Why do I put up with this? Why do I put up with the things in my environment that does not help me become the person I am supposed to be? Why? Can ask yourself why. Why do you put up with these things? Maybe it's friends in your environment. It could be something, it could be loads of things. It could be your past in your environment that is holding you back. It could be anything, but only you need to figure that out. For me, basically, I look at my friends, the people that I call my friends, they become part of my family. So I have to look at my friends first. I have to look at my life, my childhood. Have I dealt with the things back in my childhood? It's my environment. My childhood is part of my attachment. So it's attached to me. So I have to look at my environment. I have to look at my childhood. Is there anything in my childhood that I need to deal with, that I have not dealt with? So what was my problem for me, basically, as an example, was I had an amazing childhood. My parents loved me so much. They loved me so much, and my parents divorced. But that was the attachment that I was carrying, the divorce of my parents. And having to have two rooms, my step parents, my stepdad, and my dad, having two rooms. So I had not dealt with that properly. So I had to face it, I had to deal with it. So when you have two homes, you have you doesn't matter how amazing your child bringing is, but there's still gonna be things that you're gonna need to really, really look at. And once you look at it, if there is nothing in that childhood, that means we glorify, we thank God, and move on. So for me, there are some things that I had to deal with in my childhood. I had to understand, I had to come to terms that it was okay for my parents to divorce. My parents divorced when I was very young. So it was okay for them to divorce, because if they hadn't divorced, lived in a relationship, an happy relationship, to make me happy just because they have children, it would have affected me a lot. But they had the courage. I had to understand that they had the courage, my parents had the courage to actually say, we're going to move on and remarry. So those were the things that I had to, in my environment, I had to look at my friends, I had to look at my family, my bloodline. I had to look at my family. I had to look at my ancestors, the life they lived. This is not a joke. You have to go back. I had to look at my ancestors, the life they lived. I had to look at my grandparents on my mother's side and my father's side, the life that they lived. I had to look at my parents, the life that they lived. When I did that through prayer, through my breakthrough. That's how I got my breakthrough. By looking at my bloodline, looking at my parents, looking at the things, if there were anything that can help me to become the person that I wanted to become. So when I looked at my parents, I looked at my grandparents. My ancestors were wealthy people. Comes to my grandparents were wealthy people. Then it comes to my parents average. So there must be something that went wrong there within my parents. My step parents, my stepdad was coming from a wealthy family. But my grandfather, my father's dad, He was a wealthy man. And then his son, my dad, he was living an average life. He was very, very clever man, but living an average life. So I had to go back and do every chain, every chain that basically was holding me or holding my parents not to live the life that they want. So I had to go back. This is not a job. I had to go back. But how you live your life, how you actually basically become, create the life that you want, it would depend with your circumstances, how you see your life. So you have to view your life, and you're gonna have to be honest when you actually view that life, because there is a parents attachment. Their parents, Christians knows what I'm talking about. Their parents sins that can hold you captivity, that can hold your breakthrough, your destiny, captivity. Their ancestors' sins that can hold you not to live the life that you want. For me, I had to go there. The chains needed to be broken. So I had to go every chain. I have to go and undo everything. My ancestors, in my bloodline, I had to go and undo everything in my parents that is holding me. I had to go, and what else did I have to do? So, and then I had to ask God to actually forgive me for holding unforgiveness. I'm a human being. I am bound to hold unforgiveness. I am bound to hold my life. So I was responsible for saying I'm not enough. So I had to ask God to forgive me for telling myself that I wasn't enough, knowing that I was enough. But when I look at other people's lives, I think their lives is enough, and I have the desires for their life. When you go on social media, you see someone wearing whatever they are wearing, they're driving a nice car, they are living their lives, talking about their lives, their marriage life, their business life, everything looks beautiful, and you desire that life. For me, it was a sin for me to desire somebody else's life. I had to ask God to have mercy on me. I had to ask God, you can ask the universe. I don't know whatever you believe that might be. So I had to ask God to have mercy on me. And I had to mirror, I had to come face to face. I had to look at the pain in the mirror that I was holding, the people that I thought that they have hurt me, the people that have hurt me. I had to come face to face. Imagine me letting them go. Imagine me not leaving them behind. Imagine me letting them go in my heart and releasing every pain, every chain that was holding me. That's how I find myself. So you can look at your life based on your lifestyle, situation, based on your parents, based on your grandparents, based on your bloodline, your ancestors, and create your own life and breaking all those chains. And some people, when you ask somebody, some people will say, okay, I am who I am because of my parents. What did your parents do? My parents divorced, they did this, they did this. But you do have a chance to actually, yes, look at the situation and how it is, and then break the chains on that situation. Don't let it hold you back. And then the other question that you need to ask yourself is, what kind of a person do I really want to become? What kind of a person do I want to become? I knew who I wanted to become myself, but there was fear within me that I could not become that person. I knew what kind of a person that I wanted to become, but fear was stopping me. There's so many things inside of me that were stopping me. My head was making up stories, telling me that I'm not enough. No one is gonna take me serious. I wasn't enough. So the other question that you can ask yourself, what is my ideal self? You have to search within. What is my ideal self? What advice would I give to my younger self for me to fulfill the life that I want? What advice can I give that younger self of me? What advice can you give? You look at yourself now, this adult person, and look at yourself, your younger self, and look at your future self. What advice can you give? Because that younger self needs to know. What advice can you give as an adult? What can you give? What advice can you give? So you give your younger self the advice. For me, basically, the advice was growing up as a child. I look at myself where I was in that present moment, where I've been, and where I needed to go. So those are the three things that I had to look at: the future, my future that I wanted, my present, the present moment where I was, and I had to look at my past, the past where I've been, and where I've been. I realized that the younger self, Nomsa loves people. She loves her family. She loves her friend. Nomsa will do anything to make sure that her family, her friends are happy. Nomsa will do anything to make sure she goes for the things that she wants to do. That was my younger self. When I was growing up as a child, I had my parents, I had my grandparents. My grandparents, basically, I am who I am today. My parents worked. Don't tell them. They worked. My mother worked. My father worked. My grandparents were the people that looked after me. My grandmother looked after me. Then I had my granddad. I call him my granddad. He is my grandmother's brother. I used to call him granddad. He used to would train me music. So we start training around 8 or 9 until midnight. From the age of 9, I don't know what he was thinking anyway, but he did it. From the age of 9, he would train me to be a leader in my own life. If I don't create the character holding back, he go mad. Not like shouting at me. He will go mad, making sure that he will get the nomsa that he wanted, that nomsa that is there, that is hidden. And when I go on stage, at the age of 10, 11, I go on stage, I perform. When I perform, I'll go all in. Not like saying I'm scared. That was the nomsa that I had left behind, nomsa that I had forgotten, that my grandfather brought out. That was the nomsa that I actually forgotten. So I had to look back and ask for forgiveness. Ask God to forgive me, because God showed me how talented I was, but I neglected myself by telling me that I wasn't enough, because I was basically comparing myself with people in my life. I was comparing myself with people, forgetting, neglecting my soul, neglecting my spirit within me, neglecting the gift that God gave me. When I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I go on stage. I wouldn't care what everybody thought of me as a person. As long all I care about was to make sure that when I get on stage, I give it all in. If I sing a song, I give all in and give it a meaning, give that song a meaning, get into basically making sure that I deliver, going all in. All I matters was I knew that I'm there to entertain. I didn't care about anything else. I care about anything else when I'm out on stage, out of stage. But when I'm on that stage, I won't care about what people gonna think or this. I wouldn't care. I would just make sure that I'm there to entertain, and the people have paid for me to entertain them, and I will make sure that I give it all. But when I got older, became a teenager, I started worrying about how I look. I started worrying about what people think of me as a person. And that talent that God gave me, I forgot all about it. But fear and me trying to please people, trying to fit in, creating the chains in my life, that took over my life. So you got to look at your life. If you are watching this later and you're watching it now, you've got to look at your life. Look at your life. What advice can you give to your younger self? I had to give advice to my younger self. And Nomsa that I know would do anything for Nomsa. Nomsa that I know would do anything for her family. Nomsa that I know would do anything for her friends. Nomsa that I know I wouldn't do this on my own. With God. Everything, remember everything that I'm doing it with God. He is the one that basically created the earth. He created the universe, so I'm not doing it alone. And I forgot all about my talent. I forgot the talent that God showed me that, Mamsa, this is who you are. This is who you want to be. You should be. You could be if you wanted. And my grandfather worked so hard to make sure that I basically hold on to my dreams. But I let fear take over. But I got it back now. I had to figure this out. I had to figure me out. It wasn't an easy journey. I never took a magic pill and say tomorrow I'm gonna be amazing. No. It was a journey that I had to go through. It was the tears that I had to go through. If I tell you that I got it all under control in one day, I will be lying. It was the tears, facing myself, coming face to face with the Nomsa in the mirror, my life, me. It brought tears into my life. The joy, it brought joy into my life. Those joy, the tears of joy, and the tears of me neglecting my life, and that joy that I had within, that I was hidden. So you can look at your life, give advice to your younger self, and ask yourself, what is your top priority right now? Write a list, your top priority things. What is it? Write it down. And if you're not sure, you write down. If you know your top priority, if you're not sure, don't blame yourself. It will come. Keep asking the question. It will come. But if it does come, then what are you doing about that top priority things that you prioritize? What are you doing about it? Have you done something to make sure that you're following your goals? And what's the biggest thing you can do now to actually change your life? If you have figured me out. I had to search through within myself and I had to figure me out. It took so much strength. I had to have the courage, basically, to search within and to ask God to actually help search within. I had to ask God. It is basically I had to basically look at the life that I was living. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and the feelings. I had to look at the feelings, search through within me. So what are you doing about this? These top priority things that you have discovered. What are you going to do about? How can you work towards your goals? What are the steps you can take to work to prioritize this, to work towards your goals so you can achieve them? Those priorities, what can you do? So if I was to give you 1 million today, what are you going to do with it? If I was to knock at your door right now, give you 1 million, what are you going to do with it? It's like you're winning the lottery. Sometimes you win the lottery 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 6 million, maybe 5 million, 10 million, 20, 30, 40, 100. If you were to ask someone right now, what would you do to win when you win the millions? They'll tell you that I gave it to my family. That's their goals. They'll tell you that I give it to my family. Are they wrong? No, they're not. Because that's the mindset that they give. And that's why most of people, when they win it, because they never thought through about it, they just feel like I deserve it. And they just feel like, no, I deserve it. They just feel like I want it. I'm going to give it away. But God will mind, because God wouldn't want you to give it something to me if I didn't have a plan for it. If you win 10 million, God will want you to sit down, give you a plan. How am I planning to spend this money? Then I write it down. Then you give it to me, because you don't want to give to me this money, some of your money, and then 2 years later I'm broke. You don't want to do that. I need to have a plan. So if I was to give you 3 million today, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? If you're someone who has a job or you have a business, do you love what you do? Do you love your job? If the answer is no, why? Why are you in that job? If you don't like it, you don't love it, why are you in that job? If you are in a business and you don't love it, you don't feel happy in that business, why are you in it? So those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Why are you in it? What is your ideal career? So how can you start creating your your ideal career? If you haven't got one, how can you start today creating it? What can you do? What is your diet look like? We all have desires to live healthily ever after, to basically to live longer. We all have desires to basically to do the exercises. No one does the exercises to just look sexy, to look good. There's a reason why people do exercises. People go to the gym because they don't want to put on weight. Put on weight, there's so many diseases that comes with it. So people like the desires. Anyone that walks into the gym, anyone that goes to running, walking, some people goes walking every day. Anyone that does exercises in the week, Monday to Friday or Saturday, Sunday, or Sunday, 7 days a week. There's a reason why they're doing it because they want to look good. They are doing it, or maybe because of their health reasons. They want to stay healthy. They want to look healthy. They want to live longer. No one wants to die young, because if you don't look after yourself, that means you'll die young due to weight problems. So we all do things for a reason. What is your diet? Ideal diet. So you have to ask yourself, if you have not achieved that diet, what do you need to do to achieve it? Because you can achieve good diet, you cannot look good, you can do anything that you want to do. What is your mindset like? In order for you to achieve, to become the person you want to be, it comes with a mindset. What is your mindset like? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. If your mindset does not align with the things that you want to do, you want to get married, your mindset does not align with your mindset does not align with your desires, then you need to work on it. If you want to start your business and your mindset does not align with the business character that you want to create. So some people want to start their business, but they still fear what people gonna think. You still fear about people judging. You still fear about what if I get rich? So you need to work that out. You need to work on your mindset. So the question is, now you need to ask yourself, what can you do to change your mindset, to work on your mindset, to make sure that your mindset aligns with the things that you want to do? Is there a limiting beliefs that you need to identify that are holding you back? So you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to identify your limiting beliefs. And when you do identify your limiting beliefs, don't make yourself wrong. Carol Ann always talk about whatever decision you make, whatever the mistakes you've made, don't make yourself wrong. Limiting beliefs. If they are limiting beliefs from back your childhood, you don't need to blame yourself or blame your parents or blame the friends that you did. No, you don't. All you got to do is be grateful. Be grateful to you, to the person who stood by you, and be grateful to God. Be grateful to whatever your beliefs that might be, or universe, whatever that might be. For me, I'm grateful to God that I have the opportunity to actually identify my limiting beliefs. Some people never got a chance to go too far where I am, where I had a chance to identify my limiting beliefs. So I have to be grateful. There's no basically room for me to blame other people or to blame myself. We go into me and the enemy. We go into the battleground when I pray. I don't blame. I cast out every fear. I break the chains that are holding. I don't have time to blame my parents. Everything. I cast out the things that were holding my parents and they are now holding me. I cast out the chains that are holding my ancestors and now they are coming to hold me. I cast them out, break the chains. And that's what I do. It's my battleground. Not to blame because I cannot blame myself or blame my parents. I have to blame myself. If God gives me the chance to identify the things that are holding me back, to identify my limiting beliefs, I have to be grateful for that. Because somebody died, they never got a chance to identify who they wanted to be, who they could be. But I have that opportunity to actually identify who I could be. So then you have to ask yourself, what is your ideal life? Everyone has desires about their own life. They have this mood that they've created. So what can you do to actually start living that life? What can you do? Then you get on and take action. Don't worry about people judging you. Don't worry about not being enough. You have to learn. If you know, if basically you want the life that you want and you feel that I need to achieve this life, but I don't have qualifications, you start reading. You start going on YouTube, you start going on social media, and you start learning. There are so many good coaches that you can follow, or you start following gossip talk shows. So, what advice? Once you have clarity of the life that you want, the life that you want to live, what advice can you give to yourself in a year later? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? What do you fear the most when you look at yourself in a years later, or 2 years later, or 3 years later? What do you fear the most? And also, you have to look at the habits. What habits can you hold on to that can take you to the life that you want? And what action do you need to take basically to get to where you need to be? Is there anything you need to relearn along the way? What beliefs do you need to have, and values do you need to have to take you to where you need to be? You have to have values. You have to have beliefs. Values and beliefs comes with principles. So you have to have those beliefs in order for you to basically to have that in order for you to empower yourself and empower other people. You need to have values, you need to have beliefs, you need to know the people that you need. Basically, you need to look at the people that are your surroundings, your environment, and you need to look at the people that you believe that you want to save. Because whatever you do in life, you're gonna have to save someone. So your audience, imagine how are they going to actually have clarity of what kind of audience do you see yourself hang out with, talking to, helping, empowering, leading them, helping them find their voice? What kind of audience? Where does your life need improvement in order for you to get to where you need to be? Without making yourself wrong, without asking yourself, blaming yourself, why haven't I achieved this? So you can live your life to the fullest. If not, are you willing to rewrite your story? Are you willing to rewrite it? Once you have clarity of where your life needs improvement, are you willing to rewrite your own story? What is holding you back? Is there anything that is holding you back? You can ask yourself those questions. What qualities do you need to take you to that life that you want? The qualities what do you need to become the person you want to be? Who do you look up to? People that you look up to, they can help you by you can follow them, attend their business events. If you cannot afford to attend their business events, watch them on social media. You don't become like them, but you create your own life. Those people, they are there for you to say, it could, I could create my own life if I wanted to, if I had the courage. So once you have an idea of your mentors, and you believe that you have the qualities, if you don't have the qualities, you can work on those qualities. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can work on those qualities. And what can you do to make someone else's life today? Because if your life is to help people become who they want to be by helping yourself to become who you want to become, when you become who you want to become, basically you're able to help others. So who can you help today? What can you do to help change someone else's life? Who do you spend most of your time with? You need to ask yourself questions. Do you spend most of your time on social media, following, admiring your mentors? Or do you spend your time on your mobile phone, having joy, gossiping, complaining? Or how do you spend your time? Who do you spend your time? Are these people helping you to achieve the things that you want to achieve? I spend my time with God. I spend my time with the tribe that are helping me to become the person that I want to become. And those tribe, God brought them to me. They are God's angels. He brought them to me. I prayed and I said, God, anything that does not help me move forward, anyone that is in my life, this is the truth, that does not help me, or that is holding me back. Anyone in my life, that was my prayer. Anyone, show me anything in my life that is holding me back. If there is anyone that is in my life that is holding me back, take it away. Anything that is holding me back, if there is someone in my life that is holding me back, let it be uprooted. Let anything that is holding me back, that is including my friends that are telling me that I'm not enough. For that moment, God has to uproot them for me. Take them away. Bring them back when they are ready to learn what I've learned, so they can take their life to the next level, not hold me back. So that's my prayer. Anything that is in my life is holding me back, be uprooted. Let the blood of Jesus wipe away every tear, every pain, every fear Let it be wiped away. Wipe it off. Wipe it off. Anyone that is in my life. And I say, God, forgive me. These are your children. And if there is any of your children that are holding me back, take them away. Bring them back when they are ready to learn, to help me when they are ready, when they are able to come back to me, and when they want to build their lives to become who they want to become. Because I have to hang out with people that want to be like, that want to similar things that I want. We cannot have the same desires or same goals, but we can have similar things, similar lifestyle that we want to achieve. So I want those people. I don't want people that I'm going to talk to them and they tell me that, Nomsa, you're not enough. You cannot achieve these goals that you want to achieve. So if there is anything in my life that is holding me back, blood of Jesus, take it away. Wipe it off. Any friends that are holding me back, knowingly or unknowingly, I ask for your forgiveness on their behalf and on my behalf. And please take them away so I can achieve the goals that you want me to achieve. So I can help your children to become who they want to become. When you are in a battleground, God is no mercy. God has mercy for his people who wants to help, who basically wants to become who they want to become. But he has no mercy for the enemy. So when you are into a prayer, you have to know that it is a battleground. You have to ask for mercy for your family, mercy for your friends, mercy for those who are holding you back. They ask God to take them away from you. Because you have a life that you want to create. But if those people are not believing in you, it's not their fault, it's not your fault, but it's not your responsibility, it's God's responsibility. He needs to take his children away from you so you can create your own life. That's how I see life. That's how I see life. If there is anyone that does not believe in me, it's not their fault, because that dream that I want is my dream. They don't see it, but I can see it. But I don't want, at the same time, I don't want them to hold me back. They are not my children. They are not my responsibility. That is God, his children, the universe's children. His responsibility, he needs to deal with it. So that's how you pray. You ask God to deal with every situation, or the universe dealing with the situation. And then you look at who inspires you the most. You create the habit that can take you there where you want to be. Create the habit after listening to this video. What chains are you going to break to get to where you need to be? That's what I'm living with after watching this video. What chains, what kind of chains are you willing to focus on? Break them unapologetic. The chains of fear, the chains of I'm not enough, the chains of I can't do this, the chains of fear. A chains, the list goes on. The chains of that promotion that you really want, but you are scared of going for it. The chains of being a follower. So many chains. That chains becomes your identity. So what are you willing to break today after watching this video? That's the question that you need to ask yourself after watching this video. Which chains are you willing to focus on and break them? For me, it was the chains of fear that I was willing to face them. It was the chains of I'm not enough. Those chains those were the things that I was willing to break. The chains of me becoming a follower, and that becoming a follower for people who are successful and people who knows exactly what they want. I follow them, become a follower, and not creating my own life. I had to break those chains because that became my identity. If I look at myself 12 years ago and where I am today, there's a big gap. I'm still the same, but I've grown. I've not changed, but I've grown. I'm still the same person. I've grown, and I'm still grateful to that NOMSA that made me discover who I could be. So who are you grateful of today? I'm still grateful to God, who helped me to discover who I could be. God bless you, everyone. And if you want to break every chain, go to our website www.hseia.com. Register. We break the chains of love. You can find that special person and live the life that you want. Share your life with that special person. If you want to break the chains of being a great leader in your life, finding your own voice, lead from within, was a talk show. We have all the tools that you desire. However you might be, we have people from all walks of life, coaches from all walks of life. And when basically you work with them, they help you to break the chains. Break the chains that are holding you back. Break the chains of being a follower. Big fan on social media, following gossip talk shows, and that ends there. You become a fan, you don't create your life. We basically help you to break the chains. We break the chains. That's what we do. And we're here Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. So just come and break the chains. That's what we do at Gossip Talk Shows. With the chains of childhood attachment, the chains of I'm not enough, I can't do this, I can't start my own business, I cannot qualify for this job, I cannot do this, I cannot apply for that promotion that I want. We break those chains. God bless you. Live with grace, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. UK time.